Barack Obama talked about his personal experience, growing up being racially profiled, and Sean Hannity, as every host on Fox, had to respond in some way. Listen to what he had to say.
Now the president say Trayvon could have been me 35 years ago. Oh, this is a particularly helpful comment. Is that the president's admitting that, well, I guess because what? He was part of the Choom gang and he smoked pot and he did a little blow? I'm not sure how to interpret that because we know that Trayvon had been smoking pot that night. I'm not sure what that means.
So despite the fact that I've seen many clips about Sean Hannity, I understand the angle that he's coming from. He's supposed to be Fox News' little frat boy or whatever. I'm pretty shocked by what he said there. You can be on George Zimmerman's side. You can think that, considering the evidence, considering the laws that they have in Florida, there was no choice but to acquit. But he's actually bordering on internet commenter status there. He's not just glad that the judicial system worked as designed. He's extolling the virtues of George Zimmerman. He's happy. He's thrilled about what happened. The fact that when President Barack Obama talks about how 35 years ago he could have been Trayvon Martin, making that analogy, that shows a level of compassion, a level of empathy that apparently is so far above Sean Hannity's head he can't see it pass over him. Talking about how I'm not sure how to interpret that because we know that Trayvon had been smoking pot that night. I'm not sure what that means. The fact that he completely missed all of the references to racial profiling and thinks that, they both did drugs. A kid has died. And whether or not you think George Zimmerman should have gone to prison, you can at least, in the wake of that verdict, show a little bit of empathy for the family that feels robbed. Whether or not you agree with the fact that they have been robbed, they feel that way. And as a person on the news, you could at least show a little bit of empathy for that, but he's choosing to go in a different direction. Now, I talked about this on the Young Turks on Friday, and I'm going to talk about it here again. They love talking about the fact that Trayvon Martin had smoked pot in the past. As if George Zimmerman he seems so straight-edged, so straight-laced, he clearly has never done pot. And as I referenced before, Sean Hannity's particular position on Fox is that he's supposed to be the all-American frat boy. He's the one who, has the history of the partying. He's not just some policy nerd or anything. What, Sean Hannity has never smoked pot? Most of his viewers have never smoked pot. It's fucking America. I don't care if they are white. Most people at one time or another smoke marijuana. Why does the fact that in this case it happens to be an African American smoking it turn it from a little diversion, as you're listening to music or something, to some sort of political statement of affiliation with the Black Panthers or something? It's marijuana. I know in America, especially for politicians and especially for people in the media, you're supposed to pretend that it's absolutely horrible. It's like shooting up heroin or something. But most people in America at one time or another will smoke it. Most of the people watching Sean Hannity's program there would have smoked it at some point in their life. I understand many of them are old enough that perhaps they grew up in a time before marijuana had been cultivated or something like that. But many of them have experience with it. And so obviously it's ridiculous in that case. And just the casual racism that while the president is up there doing what presidents do, expressing a level of understanding beyond what the average political pundit can, the fact that he would immediately devolve it into an opportunity to make fun of the kid who'd been killed. He smoked pot, so, who gives a fuck? I think that that's just shameful. It's par for the course on Fox, but I think that Americans should expect more out of the media.